Hey everyone, welcome back to Green Pixel Retro Lab. Today we're having fun with Nufekop and their wonderful, charming VIC-20 and Commodore 64 games, including King's Ransom. Let's jump into some Pacific Northwest 8-bit fun. I attended the PDX Retro Gaming Expo this year, and I caught a really interesting session about the developer Nufekop. I was excited to learn they were actually located in Sandy, Oregon. That's pretty close to where I am, here in the Pacific Northwest. At their booth, they had some pretty cool packaging that you can actually see what they did over the years. I was able to get a hold of Scott from Nufekop, and he sent me a stack of games. Let's open the package. All right, King's Ransom. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Dodge Cars. Okay. Okay, The Catch. Now, it's pretty exciting. This package probably hasn't been open for years. So I'm being very careful not to cause any damage to this. I want to take the instructions out and take a look at it. That's pretty exciting. That's really cool. And Anti-Matter Splatter. That's cool. I like that title. That's cool. And here again is the instructions. Yeah, okay. I also found two other games which were by distributors. Dodge Cars and Galactic Defender. Interesting name. Okay. And I also picked up their book, which is pretty interesting. It actually came out in 2010. I thought it was like brand new, but it came out in 2010 from Scott Elder. It has a really good information on the history of the company. And it even has some code in here. It kind of talks about the programming techniques. And you can just imagine what they were doing with, 3.5K. Pretty amazing stuff. If you take a look at the back of the book, it has some information regarding their name. I wanted to review all the games that I did receive. But take a look at Nufekop's site. There's a pretty large array of games there to take a look at. So first up, Anti-Matter Splatter. New job to save the world. Okay, this is kind of like a Space Invaders, Centipede kind of mix. This is actually a pretty good game. Of all the ones, I think this is one of my favorites. So we need to protect the characters below us and shoot all these rolling things coming down. So like Space Invaders and Centipede and going back and forth. Really, really fast-paced game. Next up, Dodge Cars. It's exactly what it is. You're going the wrong way on the freeway, so you got to dodge the cars. Pretty fast-paced game and actually very playable. This was actually a really good game. Wow, I got 407. That's pretty good. All right, the catch. This was kind of like Space Invaders meets, I don't know, basically kind of like Space Invaders on steroids. This is actually a very, very fast-paced game. Pretty addictive. A very interesting color palette as well. So you keep going through these waves, and you have to protect your bases right below where the bombs are dropping. And each wave gets faster and faster. Wow, that was fast. All right, and the next ones are Quirk and Galactic Defender. If you take a look at these, both of these games, kind of give you a preview of each one. They're the same game, but the actual enemy, if you will, was different in the Quirk versus the Galactic Defender. I believe that's Video Wizards was a distributor to that type of game. I think Scott talks more about this on his video, on his YouTube channel. All right, the main one I wanted to talk about was King's Ransom. So we have a VIC-20 version and a Commodore 64 version. So first we're going to go through the VIC-20. In this game, we're trying to get all the gold pieces without falling down or hitting one of these, I think they're the undead. All right, next we're going to be going through the Commodore 64 version. Now I got this from Lodestar. Lodestar was the online diskette back in the late 80s, 90s. Now, you can actually go find it maybe on eBay. You might get lucky to find the physical version, but you can actually go get it on itch.io. I'll put a link into the description. You can actually buy the whole set. It's pretty affordable. So I purchased the whole set, and I found this, I think it was on 68 or 69. So I transferred this over on a D64 through the digital SD card. All right, look at these instructions, the 13th King. If you take a look at the book, Scott talks about how his brother Gary wrote some of the instructions for these games. Pretty interesting. All right, let's take a look at the Commodore 64 version of this game. And you can, of course, see we have much larger screen size. There's also probably sprites in here. Let's go ahead and break down this game with action replay. So we can actually see physically on the Commodore 64 the different sprites that are being ran here. All right, I just pressed the button now. Let's go ahead and scroll through these different sprites. Oh, look, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like maybe the king is multiple sprites here. Okay. Oh, there's oh, I guess that's the lava shooting up. It looks like it's 3 different sprites. Oh yeah, now you can see. You can see it looks like the king is multiple sprites. We'll take a look at Retro Debugger and see if we can see a little bit more. we're in Retro Debugger now. Take a look here. It looks like the actual. It looks like there's a. Oh yeah, okay. Those are. It looks like those are actual custom characters. They're just kind of changing, and we can see all the custom characters for the different letters a little larger. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, take a look at that screen. We didn't see that screen in the main game. You must have had to wait for a period of time before it actually revealed itself. All right, so we can take a look here. You can see the custom characters. Yeah, okay. Between these two different banks, okay. Or these two, yeah, so you can see the custom characters between these two different sections. So it looks like it's a single character. Now we got gameplay. Oh, so you can see, okay, let's take a look. So you can see with the red outline that those are sprites. So the coins and levels, those are all custom characters. And it's very interesting how it shows that 3 different sprites are actually, they're positioned in the same, in that actual place when they're getting, and then the sprites actually animate with inside of it. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and bring up the sprites. Oh, yeah. So you can see right there, it's the 3. The king, when he's moving left and right, you can see he's actually 3 sprites. That's cool. So give it the ability to kind of give different colors to each of those sprites, looks like. Nice. So you can definitely see the advantages that Scott did with the Commodore 64 expanding the gameplay. But, you know, granted, the work he did with the limited memory in the VIC-20 is pretty amazing. All right, that's pretty much wraps it up. I hope you guys had fun and learned a little bit about Nufekop. I actually learned quite a lot. Pretty impressed with all their work they did over the years. And now, I'd like to hear about your comments. Let me know what you guys think. And maybe you guys have a company or a studio or game developer you're interested in me reviewing. Let me know. If you want to follow along, subscribe, or give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, that'd be great. Check out this next video, and as always, have fun exploring the world of retro computers.